Gungrave G.O.R.E is the new, long-awaited game made by the Department of Badassery and Baseness. Resurrected from the dead once again, Gungrave is out for blood and recognition of the modern gaming world. Does this title have the right to stand on the top ladder of smoking sexy style over-the-top action together with games like Devil May Cry and God of War, or should it have stayed inside its grave? For those who are not familiar, this is a direct sequel to the PS2 games Gungrave and Gungrave Overdose, released in 2002 and 2004. There was also a Gungrave anime series released in 2003, however, while it was based on the first game, some events in it were completely different, so it's actually not canon. There was also a Gungrave VR game released in 2019, which however was a spin-off and is not mentioned here at all. If you want to know what happened in the games so far, there is a history option with those almost still images, no narration, only a text which is too fast to even read. So whatever, fuck it, let's continue with this game. This story spins around a team of people fighting against the spread of the very Resident Evil-esque gene-manipulating drug called Seed, which also conveniently gives people superpowers and turns them into grotesque monsters. This drug is being manufactured and distributed by the evil Raven clan in their own evil city called Scumland, located on Scum Island. I'm not making this up. There are 4 leaders of the clan who all look like Fortnite characters and have ridiculous cliché cartoony abilities and personalities. My favorite is definitely the edgelord with the 2 katanas. Teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. But don't worry, the guy you control, Brandon Heat, who goes by his goth name Beyond the Grave, absolutely makes up for it all by never saying a single word. Whatever, it's time for the badass over-the-top action. Let's do this. Huh, okay, this is how it is, huh? Now I feel kinda bad for calling Evil West gameplay dated, because this here literally feels like playing a remastered PS2 game. Additionally to that, the PC port appears to be poorly optimized and there is some nice stuttering every time something new is loaded. As for the gameplay mechanics, prepare to hammer the right trigger until it breaks, because this is pretty much the only thing you will be doing for the rest of the game. You cannot hold it down, each trigger pull is one shot, so better prepare a couple of spare controllers if you plan on finishing this game. Also, it looks like I made a mistake by setting the spoken language to Japanese, because this woman talks super fast and annoying and never shuts up for more than 10 seconds. Oh look, there are enemies above. Oh look, the enemies have rocket launchers. Oh look, the enemies have shields. Jesus Christ, woman, I have a pair of eyes myself. Will you shut up already? The subtitles also suspiciously seem to have the quality of a Google translation. And speaking of AI, the AI in this game is so bad that saying it is on PS2 levels would actually be a compliment. The enemies literally just stand there motionless and shoot you. I will not even say anything about the guys who literally think it is a good idea to charge head-on with an axe towards a huge immortal guy with a coffin full of guns. Forget about the enemies in the next room who just stand there, patiently waiting till you actually enter the room so their AI can finally kick in and they start moving. As for the actual gameplay, just as already mentioned, you can either hammer the right trigger until it falls off, with some occasional interruptions to use special attacks that take their sweet time to recharge and also heal some health, like this very cartoony looking gigantic bullet. Or you can swing around your coffin like an idiot, which doesn't seem to be that effective at first, but can be useful against larger melee enemies who cannot be interrupted by guns, or against enemies with shields. Those shields can be also blasted away by charge shots, however, so it's pointless. You can also shoot around you in case you are surrounded, which admittedly looks kinda badass. You do, however, also have a convenient chain in your weapon's coffin. With it you can pull enemies towards you or pull yourself to larger enemies. That way you can also grab enemies and use them like a human shield, and then throw them off like projectiles. That is at least kinda fun. Okay, I will admit this game kinda has something going for it. The flow feel in combat can feel very satisfying once you start to get good at it. Once you get into the trance-like state and completely devote yourself to the symphony of bullets and corpses raining all over the screen, accompanied by the tasteful Devil May Cry-like music, it is actually kinda possible to enjoy this game. Because similar to Devil May Cry with its style meter, this game gives the opportunity to not just execute tons of enemies, but do so with style, with the so-called beat count and art style meters. Although, let's not talk about that too much. Also, I hope you like quick-time events. It's been a while since I saw something like this in a game. Personally, I do not mind as long as they are well integrated, although in this game they feel a bit unnecessary. With stiff animations like that... never mind, it's a remastered PS2 game after all.
Gungrave! 気をつけて!
But that is pretty much already it. All you do in this game is shoot, shoot, shoot until everything that was moving does not do it anymore. There are even no such things like collectibles or anything along the way. Sure, once you unlock the lab, you will be able to unlock new combos, abilities and upgrades, which are really needed because this game can have some nasty difficulty spikes at times, and upgrades really do the trick. But the arsenal you have to deal with is extremely limited. Do not expect to find new weapons or anything like that under the Gungrave Christmas coffin, because Santa does not visit Scum Island. In other words, your playstyle will stay pretty much the same for the rest of the game. There are 2 more playable characters later in the game, but they are only available in specific levels. Same can be said about the enemy variety in this game. The enemies are recycled pretty hard with slight variations, so the only truly exciting encounters will be the boss fights. So in conclusion, Gungrave G.O.R.E delivers surprisingly disappointing content for a game that has been in development for such a long time. With pretty decent combat mechanics, great sound effects and soundtrack, this game had the opportunity to stand tall with other great hack-and-slash titles of our time, but the lack of variety, goofy storytelling and characters, and the lack of activities and polish really forced it to trip and fall down the ladder back into the grave, where it belongs.